guys, Mike here at Image Tutorials and welcome back to a new modeling video. Alright guys, well I've been asked to model a gold ring, preferably set with diamonds, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do a kind of a fantasy ring. I have no idea at the beginning of this video what it's going to look like, so we'll just come up with something, okay, and make it a fantasy ring if you will. So I'm going to start with a polygon pipe. I'm going to hit R to scale that out. And we're going to push that down to make it nice and thin. And in my attribute editor, I'm going to set subdivision to 40 to make it nice and smooth. And for thickness, we'll do 0.15. Okay, so that's our initial state. Now this is going to be a set of 3 rings combined. So I'm going to flatten this guy a little bit. And then we're going to hit Control D to duplicate. Hit W to pull up. And let's do this clean. So let's give a little bit of opening between these two. And then we're going to hit Shift D to copy it once more. All right. So we've got these 3 here. Looks good. Oh, sorry. And we're going to just drag select all of them. We're going to go to Mesh and Combine. And we're going to hit 3 to preview smooth. Okay, so that's what we got so far. Cool. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add a twist to the top. So we're going to want to go back to unsmooth, if you will. And we're going to go in and we're going to right click, go to face. And we're going to select these 6 faces. And then hit Shift period to increase selection. Do it again and again and again until we get something like this. And then we're going to hit E to rotate and hit B for soft select mode. Now, if the affected range is too big or too small, you can hold down B and left click and drag to make it bigger or smaller. We're going to go roughly halfway. And then we're going to take our rotation control. That's a bit too much. So I'm going to bring back my soft select. I think that's a bit better. And let's try that again. Okay. Now you see that this is a bit stiff, if you will, but let's see. Control Z to go back. Hold down B and increase it a little bit more. And let's try that again. Not happy yet. We'll do a little bit less. Let's see how that works. And the big question here is what it will look like once it's smooth. Okay, so we're going to right click at object mode. I'm going to hit B to deselect my soft select, if you will. And we're going to hit 3 to smooth it. Now, I kind of like that. So that's what we're going to go for. However, I need to set probably some diamonds or something here in the middle. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the top one. We're going to go hit 1 first. Right click object mode. We're going to go to mesh and separate. And we'll take the top one. Hit W. Pull that up a little bit. And then we'll take this guy, pull that one up a little bit. And then we're going to create an opening for our diamonds. And we'll do that in this area. So we're going to take that face to that face. And in that area, we are going to add some subdivision. So we're going to go to Insert Edgeloop, Option Box. Let's do 2. Let's hit R and kind of course, that's not going to fly. We'll use it like that, and we'll have to tweak it manually, but that's okay. And then we're going to right click, go to face, select that face, and double click to select that face row, and go to Edit Mesh, Extrude, and then we're going to push that in like that, okay? Now again, keep in mind that we're gonna smooth this out. So right click object mode, come on guys, right click object mode, there we go. So let's do a preview smooth. So we have our opening. Looks like we've got a little issue on the corner there, just right there. So it wants to go back. Let's see what the problem is. Control Z to go back. And looks like it's a bit too deep. So let's do a bit less. Let's do 0.1, actually negative 0.1. And that looks okay. Right click object mode, 3 to preview smooth. Still got an issue, it's okay. We're gonna go to mesh display, mesh tools, insert Edgeloop tool, single setting, and we're gonna add an edge loop right there. And we'll do one at this end as well. And again, keep in mind that I'm making this up as we go along, so we don't have a fixed plan for this. Hit Q on your keyboard, right click object mode, select all of it and hit 3 to preview smooth. And now that black area is gone. Yeah, it is. All right, cool. So we're gonna bring these together once again. We'll first take the top one, F to zoom in, hit W to move down, and we're probably gonna have to tweak it just a little because of that added edge loop. All right, and it's okay to have them somewhat apart. I think that kind of adds to the appeal. Alrighty, and then we're gonna create a diamond to set in that area. Okay, so let's create a diamond. We are going to go with a polygon. What's that thing called? Torus? No, cone, sorry. Yep. We're going to hit E to rotate it, hold down J to snap it until it's, oops, until it's upright. And by the look of it, minus 180, it is, yeah. In our attribute editor, we're going to tweak this to 16 subdivisions. In height, let's see, we'll do caps first, round cap. And then we'll do, actually no subdivision there. Caps, we'll do 1 and 2. All right. Then we're going to go in, and I'll actually just take this guy for a minute. Control H to hide it. We're going to select this guy, and then from this view, we're going to right click on our vertex, right click all of that stuff, hit W and start to bring that down. And we'll take the top vertex, hold down V and snap it. And then we'll take this vertex row and hit R and scale it in until you have a correct flow like that. Okay, looks fine. It's a bit deep, so we're going to take this and we're going to push that up until we have something that looks a little bit more like a diamond, like that. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drag select these vertices, and we're going to go to Edit Mesh, and under Vertex to Chamfer Vertices. All right. Then we're going to take the bottom row here. We're going to hit W and move them up until they, based on the guy in the middle here, we have roughly the shape of a diamond. And because these are now distorted, we're going to hit R and we're going to bring them out until on the left you have a normal line flow going on. Okay, so this will create a situation where you got that. And now we're going to connect the vertices between the diamonds. So we're going to right click at a vertex, drag select these two, go to edit mesh and merge like that. And then I'll just go around and repeat that. Hit G to repeat. I'm trying to do it somewhat quickly, but that's usually not a good idea. G. Okay, that one, something went wrong, so I have to, maybe I selected something I shouldn't. Don't think so. So let's try that again. 1 and 2. Yeah, there we go. G to repeat. Sorry this takes so long, guys. I'll try to speed it up a little bit. There we go. All right. We're going to take the top here. We're going to right click at a face, hit shift period to increase selection. We're going to delete those faces. We're going to go to right click and edge, double click and go to mesh and fill hole like that. Then we are going to, let's see, do I got all these diamonds here or all these edges? Yep. Then we're going to right click at edge and we're going to select all of them. And this one I need to kind of look for, yeah, mesh display hardened edge, which gives us that crisp shape, if you will. We're going to add a line down here. So we're going to switch views to this view. We're going to open the multi-cut tool. We're going to go down to multi-cut. Let's click right there and we'll do one right there. Okay. We're going to go back and we're going to use this multi-cut tool again. We're going to click here, 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 and we're going to work our way around, down, up, down, up, down. This is the tricky part because at some point it's hard to see what you're doing. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter so I can just have a clean start and still see what I'm doing here. There, there. Looks like that's it. Okay, looks good. Almost there. And then we're going to take this guy and we're going to follow that flow. This should go a little bit quicker. Okay, we're going to hit enter, and then we're going to cross that. All right, we're getting there, and then we're going to do the same at the top. And we're going to cross that. Alrighty. So next what we're going to do is, if you look at this main, and I'll hit Q on my keyboard, you got these faces going on here, that one and that one. We're going to focus on this diamond here above it, okay? So we're going to right click at an edge, and we're going to select the inner edges like that, and we're going to hit Control Delete to get rid of them, okay? So same here, and we're going to hit Control Delete instead of Delete to make sure that we don't create any n-gons, okay? It's kind of tedious to make a diamond, but it's also fun. And the last one. Okay. Now we're going to right click at an edge. We're going to select all of these edges and go to Hardened Edge once again. All right. So that's our diamond. Okay. Now we're going to go up to Display, Show All to pull that guy up. And what we're going to do next is we're going to right click, go to Object Mode, take our diamond, hit E to rotate, hold down J to snap, and we're going to rotate it until it's at 90 degrees. Okay. We're going to W to move it in, and we're going to move that up. And actually, I'm working upside down, I think. So yeah, there you go. We're going to hit R. We're going to scale that down. Hit W to move that out. And it seems a bit odd to spend all that work on such a tiny diamond, but I think it will be worth it. Okay, so we're going to hit W, and we're going to start to move that in here. And I'm just going to hit 4 for wireframe mode for a sec to see where I'm at. Make it a bit smaller. That's probably all right. Okay. So then what we're going to do is we're going to hit Control D to duplicate. And I'm going to hit W to move that over. F to zoom in so we can kind of see that it's sitting close but not exactly next to it. And then we're going to start to hit Shift D a bunch of times. Now this is going to do a lot for your poly count. It's going to go nuts. Make sure you have enough. We can delete whatever we don't need. Okay, and then I'm just going to drag select everything. and then Shift deselect my rings. So I just have my diamonds here, and we're going to go to Mesh and Combine, and we're going to go to Modify Center Pivot. And then we're going to start to move that. We're going to hit E, and we're going to rotate that into place. Let's just have a look here. That actually looks pretty clean. Now you would think that we're done, but as you can see, this is not curved at all. So now we need to curve it into place. So we're going to hit W, and we're going to move that until we have some of them in place. And we want it to sit just inside of our ring like that. And then we're going to apply a bend deformer. So we're going to go to Deform, Nonlinear, Bend. We want our bend deformer to be in line with our row. So we're going to hit E, and we're going to pull that bend deformer down. And let's align it with our row of diamonds. That seems to be okay. We're going to have a look at the top view here, and let's see if it's bending in the right direction. So we're going to hit Control A for our attribute editor. We're going to go to our bend, because as you can see, it's not bending in the right direction. So hit Control Z. We're going to rotate our bend deformer 90 degrees. Let's try that again. Yeah, that's better. So let's bring that in and try to be accurate. I think we have the right angle here. Just going to have a look at my diamonds. And you can decide that you want to fill them up all the way or not, but I guess this is nice. So we'll go with that, okay? So we're going to drag select the whole thing. We're going to go to Edit, Delete by Type History to get rid of our bend control, like that. And then we're going to select everything. Actually, not yet. We're not going to select everything yet. What we'll do is we'll create a color ID map, pretty much. So we're going to select all this. First, we're going to hit 1 to unsmooth, because it's just preview smooth. We're going to go to Edit Mesh and, Mesh and Smooth to actually smooth them. That's better. And then what we'll do is we'll add some subdivision, because it's not going to be for an animation or anything. Let's do them all at once. Mesh, combine, smooth. That's pretty high. Let's do this. Yeah, it's better. Okay. So we got that. So for the color ID, what we're going to do is we're going to take this, go to Mesh and Separate, and we'll do, let's see, these two will do gold. So we're going to right-click Assign New Material, and let's do a Lambert, and we're just going to give it a color identifier. Okay, so we'll do yellow. We'll take the one in the middle, Assign New Material Lambert. Let's do red or something. And then we'll take our diamonds. So I'm going to drag select everything, deselect my rings, and then right click Assign New Material, Lambert, and let's do blue. All right. So now that we got all of that, we're going to drag select everything. Once again, edit, delete by type history, and modify freeze transformation. And then we're going to export our object into Keyshot. So I'm going to go to File, Export Selection, and we'll call this Ring OBJ. I'll just save it on my desktop. And I'll pause the video, open Keyshot, see you guys in a sec. All right, guys, we're in Keyshot. I'm going to go to File, New, and File, Import. I want to import a model. I'm going to go to my desktop, and there should be my ring. And I'm just going to keep all these settings standard, hit import. So here's my ring with the color map on it. We're going to go to our material tab. Now I want the outsides to be gold. So I'm going to go to my materials. I'm going to go down to metals, and I'm going to select precious metals. And under precious metals, I'm going to select gold. And we're going to go to basic, and I'm going to select 18 karat gold. I'm going to drag and drop that on the outer two rings. Let's see if 24 karat looks better. I guess it does a bit, so we'll do that. And keep in mind, once we have our lighting, it's going to look much better. And then for the one in the middle, I'm going to use silver. And let's do silver polished. We'll do that. And then we're going to go up to, let's see, gemstones. And I'm looking for my diamond, this guy right here. And let's pop that on there. Now, to be honest, I think it would look better if the middle one was gold. So let's switch that around. So I'm going to go back to basic gold, 24 karat. And I'll do that. And then the ones on the outside, silver polished, like that. Okay. So not quite there yet. Now that we have that, let's set up our lighting and so forth. So first we're going to go to our environment. And let's do a couple of test settings. I'm just going to drag that in. And don't worry too much about the background. We'll fix that right away. We're going to go to background. I want an interior background. Actually, let's do a studio background. Let's take this one. All right, much better. And then let's see. We want this to be lighter, darker. Yeah, I guess that works. Okay. So we got that. And now we kind of need to work on the lighting. So we're going to go back here. And let's decide on what type of lighting we want. So I'm going to go into Studio. This is 3-point lighting, basic lighting. There's actually one that I'm looking for. Overhead panels, this guy. Let's drag that in. Yeah, it's way too white. Let's try something else. That's too steel looking, if you will. So let's try an HDRI lighting. Brings much more color to our object, so that one wasn't actually that bad. The top two here kind of have that warm atmosphere to it. This one's a bit dull, so we'll use the top one. Okay, so we got that. Now, because of how we set this up, we're going to go up to lighting. Now, I got self shadow selected here. I want to have some ground illumination to kind of get a reflection on the ground there. Let's see, what else do we want? Just checking a few settings here. Okay. Well, I'm going to select caustics as well because of our diamonds, right? And there are a few things I want to check here. So ground reflections, we got that. It's nice. Background looks okay. Okay, nice. Let's see. I want this in performance mode. That's making it too dark. Now there is a preset here for jewelry actually. So custom jewelry. Let's see how that looks. All right, cool. Okay, so that's looking good. What we're going to do is we're going to find a nice render angle, depending on what you like. Let's get up close a little bit. We spent a lot of time on our diamond here, so what I'll do is I'll do 2 render shots just to give you an idea. We're going to go to render, select render. I'm going to call this ring 1. I'm going to save it on my desktop. And in the presets, I'm going to select a fairly large setting here. I'm going to leave that alone, and I'm just going to hit render. Hopefully it won't take too long. Yeah, I'll just pause the video. See you guys in a sec. Okay guys, so this is our close-up render, and now we're going to go for a overall view. So we're just going to close this down. Hang on. Let's save this out first. Okay, so let's reposition it a bit. Let's zoom out. It's a bit high res, so it's taking a while. Okay. This kind of looks like a good angle. All right. Maybe twist it a bit. Yeah, let's do that. All right. So we're going to go back to render window, and we're going to keep the same settings. And let's go with the new render. See you guys in a bit. Okay guys, well there you go. There's our final render, and you know, considering this is a ring made up as I move forward, I don't think it's too bad. But hopefully it will help you to gain some knowledge on modeling techniques for rings and so forth. And especially if you have Keyshot, you can have a lot of fun with this. All right. Now, for those of you who are patrons, as usual, you'll find the files in the shared folder. And that said, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.